pretty used to being watched.
Yeah, Rick's been up a couple of times in the last week or 10 days taking some videos of Kip in the cross ties here and Kip out in the paddock, so. So is Caroline up and about?
She is, yes. You know, maybe not a ton, but she is moving around a little bit. She put some laundry away yesterday, which is...
Well, all those little things are huge challenges after surgery. You always feel like it's one step forward to being back to normal if you can do even the most regular little house chore, you know?
Yeah. The frustration has definitely set in, though.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
How long has she been home?
Would have been 2 weeks ago yesterday she had surgery.
Oh, I see.
Came home the Saturday after that. And
so a short 10, 12 days so far.
yeah, it hasn't been a long time. But she's doing really, really well, so. Surgery went as well as could be expected. It's a bit more in-depth and longer than they thought it would be, but it still all went as well as could be expected.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, thank you.
So do you have to drive your kids to school then, or do you have to wait for the bus to pick them up?
I usually just drive them.
Yeah.
They can walk home.
But they're kind of little to be walking home. Do you like them walking home alone? Yeah.
It's... I'd rather somebody pick them up, but it's sort of hit and miss. Some days I'm able to get home. And they were all excited to walk by themselves. And the novelty's worn off. They want somebody to be there. I think about 2 or 3 days, I think.
Now we gotta ask, this guy is reasonably good-natured. What do you do when you have a horse who doesn't like being handled and he's constantly trying to pull away? Or do they just get used to it and accept the fact you're going to do the work you're going to do?
Most of them get used to it.
Yeah?
Most of the horses that I work on are show horses. So most of them are
Used to being handled.
worked a fair bit, yeah. And they are dealt with a lot for all kinds of different things. And every once in a while you find one that won't conform and they get tranquilized.
Well, do you have to sedate some of them, give them a little bit of little ace or something just to keep them quiet?
I probably only have about 4 or 5 horses in my clientele that, I mean, when you think, I don't know how many I shoot, 250, somewhere like that. 4 or 5 is pretty good. And I've done 4 or 5. I think 2 of them are physical issues that really, like string haul. Just simple things that make it that much easier for me to do the job I need to do without a big fight. I'm very lucky, though. I mean, most of the horses I work on are, like I said, worked with a lot. Because of that, they're good to do.
I noticed in this one, I thought he had a little bit of a hole in here somewhere.
Okay, well, we'll
Just
just
when you
look
get
around.
there, yeah.
It looks like he's just got some fog at this point in time. Everything looks dry, that's for sure. His feet are dry in general.
Yeah.
So I don't think
Yeah, they
that-
weren't always when they had the full pad on, remember? They got a little
softer.
softer.
That's pretty typical.
Yeah. I think it was a good idea because I think when you first saw him, he had a full pad on.
Yes.
And then when you started dealing with him, you put that cutout thing, which I think was much
Yeah,
better.
the bar wedge,
Yeah.
it's called. But yeah, you don't have to worry about thrusting here. It's, as you can see, it's so hard. It's easier to cut with my nippers and my knife.
Yeah.
mushroom and sort of overgrow a little bit.
That was a work procedure.
Mm-hmm.
So did you have to have some people pinch hit for you while your wife was immediately home from the hospital? Or did you just reschedule and have a couple of days
Pretty
when
much
you...
just rescheduled. You know, while she was in the hospital, I went to work.
Well, there's not
And then-
much you can do because...
And then went down at night, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was able to do some stuff, you know. So I really just took the Wednesday off, the day that she was actually having surgery. Even on that first weekend, you know, I farmed my kids out with my parents, and I went and did some more work on the weekend before she came home on the Saturday. And
I think some families like to sort of have a sort of a, even for, well, I know your wife's surgery wasn't your normal garden variety surgery, but I find sometimes patients just can't rest because families sort of hover around. With visiting hours, they're so loosey-goosey now. You can be there 24/7 practically. And I don't think people get the patient has a chance to rest and recover because they feel they've got to be on top of their form. Because
people are wandering through the hospital on a regular basis. Yeah. There was the first lady that my wife shared a room with. She left the day after. Anyway, so the new lady who came in had a hysterectomy apparently, and it was her 50th birthday, the day she had the surgery.
oh my God, what a...
They were drinking champagne in their room that night.
Oh my God.
So I think that
I'm sure that went well with her painkillers.
well, those things, right? I mean, I guess Caroline said she seemed to be doing great.
I like champagne too. I'd be doing pretty well.
Well, yeah, but how many drugs are still in you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't know how much champagne she drinks, but there were people in there drinking champagne. I think I would have tried to reschedule the
Surgery?
surgery. Yeah.
Well, you're always happy when you wake up.
Because you're
I've been put under twice, and both times you look up at the lights while they're telling you to count backwards, and you say, "I hope I wake up," because you never know.
Yeah. I've been put out a few times myself.
Now, Leo has a leg injury from with soccer, right?
Soccer.
Yeah, he's got all kinds of pins in his ankles. So he compared himself to Barbaro. Remember the horse, the Kentucky
Right.
Derby horse, with
Yeah.
had all that hardware put in his leg.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I have to admit, I never really worried about it. I just sort of blind faith, whatever. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
yeah.
I just assume that it's all going to work out.
Did you find that little nail in there? Do you remember there was a little nail that? Did you find that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I pulled a couple of there. Yeah. One snapped off on the other foot while I was pulling the shoe on.
Yeah. Because there was one that you didn't want to dig around looking for
No,
last
this is
time.
it. You do
Yeah.
some more damage
Yeah.
than good sometimes. Hunting around in there.
I'm going to do my little well, Leo's just going to get this fairly clean so I can, let me just clean this up for you here, buddy. Look, it's so much better. Look, it's so much better. Wow, what a huge improvement there is on that thing. I thought he had a little puncture wound on
Yeah.
his fetlock when it first started.
Yeah, because it's so small.
It was very, very tiny.
Yeah.
So then I noticed his feet were a little chippy on the other side. So I cleaned it and I put a boot on him for one day.
Yeah.
Hugest mistake I ever made.
Cover it.
Yeah, covered it was just bad, and the whole thing quite spread.
Yeah.
And I tried to do some other stuff, and then finally I could see that I was getting nowhere. And it was just getting larger, and it was getting swollen, and I just said, bring in.
Yeah.
Bring it up.
It's the weirdest stuff because it's such a simple thing, but
Yeah.
it's not.
Do you have a lot of these gloves?
Yep. We can get more. Lee Valley sells them by the boxful, box of 100. And I think that Princess Auto sells them as well.
Stop it, Lulu.
What are we doing, big boy? What are we doing?
Let me just do this here. There we go. We have this here. We have this here, please.
So you heat them up for why, out of curiosity? I don't understand the process.
What's that?
I don't understand the process. Since they're already fitted to